There we go. All right. Hey guys, it's me Pumpkin. It's been almost, actually almost exactly a month since I made a video. A lot has happened, and I'm sure no one really watches my videos. Actually, the one where I did a story time of me like puking all over myself, that got over 100 views, and I know that's like not a lot, but to me that was crazy, and I was really happy about that. But yeah. So I don't really want to get into why I was gone for so long because a lot has happened, but I guess I'll give you guys a brief summary. As you can see, I'm in a different room, and then my room at my dad's house and the room at my mom's house. This is the room, um, this is like her guest bedroom that my mom wants me to stay in because it's right next, her room's right there, because basically I'm on suicide watch. A long time ago, I made a live stream saying how it was like titled, I went to a psych ward, but not really, because, which I don't know, it was stupid because all I really did was just go to the emergency room because, oh, I should probably preface this. Obviously, since I already said suicide watch, obviously this is, you know, trigger warning. This is going to talk about suicide. But anyway, so I said about how I was, um, in the emergency room for self-harm, but like, and suicidal thoughts or whatever. But this time I actually went to the emergency room because I tried to kill myself. Um, I don't want to get into that or whatever, but basically they said, okay, you need to go to, it's not really a psych ward, but they said you need to go to the behavioral center is what it's called. And so that's where I was for 2 weeks. I was at the behavioral center, and right now I don't have my phone, so I haven't been able to like vlog or like tell you guys anything. But yeah, um, even though it was a terrible, awful thing that I really don't want to get into yet because it's still like fresh in my mind and still like kind of painful to talk about almost. I mean, even though I like, YouTube, I like talking and telling you guys everything, even though no one's really out there. But like, it still feels like it feels like it's helpful to me to like talk to you guys, I guess, or just to know that whoever there is out there watching is listening. And I don't know, I just kind of like that. But anyways, I don't really want to get into that yet. But eventually I do. I made journals, or like they gave me journals to basically just write about. So I filled up this entire journal, this entire composition book of just all my day-to-day stuff. And as you can see, the writing's really terrible, whatever. But they gave us markers because pencils were too dangerous or whatever. And then I also filled like half of a second one. So as you can see, wait, can you see it? Here's number 2. And here's number 1. It's kind of like the tapes, but instead of 13 tapes, or not 13 tapes, 13 sides of the tapes, so instead it's just journals. And then in the second one, I have all these notes and mementos and stuff that like, I don't know, whoever's watching that saw videos, um, you probably have seen this guy right here, this guy. He's in a bunch of my videos. And basically, my mom snuck in little messages and letters, and we would send them back and forth to each other because we kind of had to. And then some of these, we kind of like, we weren't able to, text or call or have visitors that were family. So basically, I have some of his letters in these journals, which I love and I'll keep forever. And then I have some notes that, like, I wasn't able to have a roommate, so I like across the hall and stuff. We had to like pass notes, so I kept some of the notes just because I wanted to. And then here's one of this one guy that was in the room next to me saying, "I'll miss you," blah blah blah. Strong. I don't know. I just kept it because I thought it was nice. And then Anyway, so yeah, basically I went through that and I had kind of a rough time, but right now I'm happy, and I just wanted to update you guys and explain that's where I was. Once I get my phone back, not sure when I will exactly, but once I do, I'll start making vlogs regularly again, and I'll try to make videos as often as I can once I can do that. But also, I also wanted to tell you guys something about positivity. I wanted to share with you guys what I've been learning, what I learned, and what I've been working really hard on, which is positive thinking, and it's helped me so much with my anxiety and with my depression and everything. And I thought, if I can, I thought, I don't want to just talk to you guys and tell you, oh, this is what happened, whatever. I kind of thought it would be nice for me to actually like give you guys a message, I guess. I don't know, because I think there could be people that could find this helpful, I guess. So yeah, basically, oh, oh dang, I was gonna like write down notes and stuff so I could remember exactly what I wanted to say, but I guess I'll just wing it. Basically, um, I have a strong belief that there's your brain helps you work out things and helps you like figure things out kind of thing, because um, and I think it has a lot to do with subconscious and your and like dreams and stuff, because I had a dream a couple days ago that when I like woke up, I like kept going through it in my head. I was like, okay, what does this mean? Because it felt like it was so powerful and it had like a really strong meaning, and I finally got it. And because I've been using this technique called like mindfulness, which is where you notice the feeling in your brain and you're able to think where it's coming from and then react to that however you do. And that's helped me a lot with anxiety or whatever. But that's what I was able to realize through mindfulness, is I was able to think about um, what this dream was about. So basically, I'll just start from the beginning. As you know from my flag and from my vlogs in California and stuff, I originally came from California. I lived there for 14 years, and now I've lived here for almost 4 years in Idaho. Ugh, but whatever. um, and so in my dream, for some reason, we were still in Idaho, but we were like in this fancy place, and it was like this giant, like we were at this dinner party. Me, my mom, my sister, and my dad, which I don't know why my dad was there. That was weird. But then my dad's dad, and then my grandpa's wife. So my step grandma, I guess is what you would call it. I don't know. I just call her grandma, I guess. But so like my grandma and grandpa, and then my family, and we were at this like fancy dinner party, all dressed up, all fancy and whatever. And then we like finished dinner and we like walked out of the place where we were having dinner, and for some reason like it didn't occur to me until like after we walked out, but what we were in was we were having like this fancy dinner party in this like lead in like this huge like zeppelin kind of thing, like a huge blimp kind of thing, and it was like fancy and silver and big, and it was just like really cool. So like we were like walking back to our house, so like this house where I'm at right now, my mom's house. um so the family and then my grandparents, and then we like looked over and we looked at this huge zeppelin, and it was so massive and so beautiful, and we were like, wow, look at that, that's amazing. And then basically then it kind of like it felt like a movie, because then it like cut to um me and my sister like walking alone up to the driveway, and we're like, where is everyone? And basically how our driveway is there's like a road that like is like in the woods kind of thing, and it leads to it like goes over a bridge and then over train tracks, and then it like goes off to all these other houses, and then our house goes up this one driveway. So basically we like got to this to the road, and we were like, we couldn't find our family. So for some reason, our family wasn't there. I don't know. It was weird. So we kept walking. We walked to the train tracks, and then we like there was like a train stopped in the tracks, and we couldn't like so we couldn't like keep going, and it was weird. We were like, oh no, we can't keep going. So um, then we looked to our right. So like where the train tracks are, there's like a little driveway like on the left side that like goes to like these people's house, and on the right side there's nothing. So but when we looked to the right, it was weird because it seemed like this road that like went off to the side of the right side of the train tracks was there suddenly, and it was never there before. So we were like, well, that's weird. And then we like looked over, and there was like this little girl, maybe about like 8 or something. She like ran towards us, and she was like, hi guys, what are you doing? And we were like, oh hi, we're just waiting to cross the train tracks because there's a train in the way. And she was like, oh, do you want to come over to my house while you're waiting? And we were like, oh, no, that's okay. And she's like, okay, I'll just wait here with you guys. And then when she when she said that, then the train started going, and we were like, oh, okay, this is cool. And we were like, do you want to come with us to like have, I think, was it dinner time or lunch? I don't know, whatever. Like, do you want to just come over to our house? I don't know why we asked that, but she was like, yeah, okay. So as the train kept going, I was like kind of starting to notice that this little girl was like, her hair was all messy and her face was all dirty, and like her clothes were all ripped and like old looking. And it was like, I was like, wait, is this girl homeless? Did she like invite us to this place that's like homeless, or like a cardboard box or something? I don't know. It was just weird. And it was also weird because she was so happy and she was willing to like give to us the very like tiny little bit that she had, which was hardly anything. But I don't know. Anyway, so then we kept going. So like after the train passed, we like kept going, and we were like walking down the road to our driveway. And as we kept walking, all of a sudden a huge like snowstorm happened, and it was like spring. It was like spring weather when we were walking, and then all of a sudden it felt like there was like snow and a storm, and it just like came out of the blue. And like finally when we got to her house, it's like not even that big of a walk, but like when we finally got to her house, there was like tons of snow, and it was miserable, and it was like felt like really like closing in and like scary because like there was like 3 feet of snow like all around, and it was just like crazy. And we are like, great, we have to like trudge through the snow to get to our house. And we finally got to the house, and like I don't remember what happened, but like I started hearing, oh yeah, that's what happened, is I started hearing like hammering in the background, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Why would someone be out in this storm like hammering? And then so it was like this huge storm. It felt miserable and depressing and just like overwhelming. And then I heard hammering, and I turned around, and then behind me it was like the storm just disappeared. And it was weird. I was like, what the heck? Why is the storm just gone? But like, I mean, it's a dream, so whatever. And then um, what was happening was all of a sudden, all these people that I guess were already there were like building these different like new structures, because we have a couple rentals on our property that we rent out, like little cottages or whatever. But like all these people, like my dad mainly I was like, oh, well, there's my dad. My dad was mainly building these new houses, these new little cottages, like additions to all these houses. And it was weird because I was like, oh, he's building, new rentals or whatever. I don't know. It just made sense, I guess. But I was like, why is he building why are all these people already here? Because there's people like in tents and like just sleeping in their cars, or like, or like it seemed like they were all camping. Like there's some people having trailers and just like sleeping on the ground, just enjoying the day, because now it was like spring again, I guess. I don't know. Like I guess the storm and the snow all melted. And as I was like walking back down the driveway and looking at all these people, they were all like happy, and it seemed like a huge community. And even though these people like basically they were just making the best of what they had kind of thing, even though it seemed like there was nothing really there to begin with kind of thing. I don't know. It was just kind of it's kind of spoke to me for some reason. I don't know. And then so I kept walking, and then I walked back down. For some reason, I walked back down to the road to like where the train tracks were. And then oh my gosh, you can hear a train. Wait, can you hear it? That's the train, because the train tracks are right by our house. So anyway, um, I walked back down to the train tracks, and the train was there was another train that was stopped in the tracks, and I was like, great, now there's another obstacle. And oh yeah, that's what happened. Is I was walking the little girl back to her house because I was like, oh well, I guess we're all so busy. I'll just walk you back to your house. And there's the train. That's cool. What was I saying? Oh, so then we were walking back, and then I was like, well, what are we gonna do? And she's like, oh, that's okay. We'll just walk around the train. Like, we'll just try to find the end of it and then walk around and then walk back and then go back to my house because my house is on the other side of the tracks. And I was like, oh, okay. And then as we were walking along on the side of the tracks, like walking down the train, I was like asking her, I was like, so why are you all like? I mean, it was kind of rude, but I was like, why are you all like messy and like your shirt's all ripped and stuff? And she's like, well, I don't really have many clothes, and we don't really, I don't know. I was actually really glad when you guys invited me to your house because I have never really experienced a snowstorm indoors before, and I wanted to see how it was. You know, I wanted to be nice and warm, so I was really appreciative or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have a house? And she was like, well, we have walls, but we don't have a roof. But it's okay because we have a tree that covers over as like our roof kind of thing. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice. And I was like, in my head, or like in my head in the dream, as we were still walking, I was like, how is she so happy even though this sucks and this is terrible and she doesn't, like, and I mean, she was, feeling so excited just to go back to this tiny little shack with a tree over it that was like covering, that was in like pretending to be a roof or whatever. And then I was feeling grouchy because there was I wasn't able to, like, I had to walk all the way around the train, and I was like, how come I'm complaining if she's not even complaining, I don't know. And then she basically we kept walking, and I was like, geez, this train is lasting. It was like going forever because we have really long trains in these parts. And then like when I said that, there was like this open train car, and I was like, that's weird. And there's like these like hobos, I guess is what you would call it. I don't know. And they were kind of like all just chilling and like sitting in the train car and then on top of the train car and kind of just walking around and stuff. And like I was like, what are you guys doing? And they were like, oh well, the train stopped, so we're just taking a breather and kind of just relaxing. And I was like, well, do you guys live here? And they were like, yeah, we live on this train, and we're just you know enjoying it. And I was like, well, how can you enjoy this? You don't have a house, you just live on a train. And they're like, well, instead of instead of trying to fight the obstacle, we just climbed aboard and just enjoyed the ride. And I was like, well, how can you enjoy the ride? You can't even get over the side of the train. You have to walk all the way around. And they were like, well, we if we want to get on the other side of the train, we just climb up and around. Why haven't you done that? And I was like, oh yeah, it's just that easy. Why haven't we done that? And then I think either I woke up or the dream just like ended. I don't know. But basically, I know that was a long story and it was probably like way too long. But anyway, basically in my head, when I was thinking about it and thinking like, okay, I know this dream means something because it felt so powerful. I don't know why it felt so powerful. It just did. So basically, I thought, okay, how does this have to do with my life? And then I realized, okay, here's the explanation. You might think I'm crazy, but anyway, I think the beginning of the dream was the peaceful, blissful, wonderful, happy, fancy pantsy life in California that I had with my family, all my family, and my grandparents, and we lived in, I mean, we didn't live like expensively, but you know, like everything in California is just seems better. You know, there's more life there. It feels like there's more. I don't know. It just feels so much better, and it just felt so happy, and nothing could go wrong. And then we like made the trek to Idaho, or our home, which is how we were walking. And like as we were walking, we turned around and we looked at our life that we had, and we were amazed by how awesome it was and how great it was. And I kind of looked at that as like, you know, like that's how we looked at our lives. Like we look back at our lives at how, you know, awesome it was in California, and without wanting to go back, kind of thing. Like at first we looked at it as, you know, not wanting to go back, but still looking at it as amazing. And then we were like, okay, now we have to go. And that's how it was in the beginning when we first moved here, is we were like, okay, it was great, but now we have to go, kind of thing. So, and then we were able to, and then when me and my sister lost our family, we found our own happiness in this, like, I kind of incorporated the, not having our family with us to us being in a completely new place and completely different. And then we had to kind of just like figure it all out on our own. And then we found this little girl who was happy, and she brought us happiness. And we were like, hey, look at this. This is a new situation, but it's awesome. And we're still being able to be happy. And then the snowstorm, I think, was the shit storm that I've been going through my whole life, or not my whole life, but for the past like 3 years. Yeah, pretty much 3 years of my realizing I have clinical depression, clinical, or not, I guess, I mean, I've been I don't like saying it because it's kind of like I don't look at it as that terrible, but like they do say it's clinical anxiety, anger issues, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, all this stuff. And that was the snowstorm. That was the huge, terrible experience that I've had in Idaho. And that was the, you know, just everything that sucked. And that was what it resembled, was the snowstorm, with the misery and the awfulness and the depression, whatever. And then when I heard the hammering, that could be when my mom finally said, when my mom found me and said, okay, we're going to the hospital right now, and I went in the car, that could be me turning around and seeing the people and seeing the community, which was, I compared it to the community of the people that helped me so much in the mental hospital, all the staff, all the therapists, everyone that was able to work so hard on my safety and my happiness. And but then also I was contributing to that community. I was still part of it, and I was thriving off of their happiness, which would be me thriving off of the knowledge that I was learning in this place, and being able to stay happy and learning how to be basically just positive and basically just in a good mood, you know? Um, so yeah, that's what and then the community was also when I got out of the hospital. So like right now, as I'm able to come back to my friends and like experience real life, and it's still happening. As I was like walking down the driveway or whatever and seeing new people and seeing new things, that was me walking out of the hospital. And even though I was gone from like like as I was walking down the driveway and seeing new things, I was still like having support and still having the community, which I was happy about, and I am happy about. I love having so many people that are there for me and that have been so supportive and so helpful. Keep basically just, I mean, I know it doesn't seem like it. I know people think that suicide is selfish and that what I did was, or what I tried to do was very wrong. And I know it was very wrong. But right now, all I'm trying to do is be happy, and the people that care about me and that love me, I understand that they do, and I understand why they do, because I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. And I think that's what, like, that's what I just like symbolized it as, was this community building me up and making me feel happy, even though they were all like not really having the best lives. They, were camping or whatever. I was, and they were still happy, and I'm still happy. I could still be happy even though I, go through these little like jolts of anxiety, or remembering my past, or just things that remind me of when I tried to kill myself, or the times that happened or whatever. And yeah, I'm happy, and I think I could feel the happiness even though I was just dreaming. I could feel it, and it felt real, and I felt it radiating off of all these people and the community that was going on while I was, walking down this driveway. I don't know. It just, that was my favorite part. And then as I walked back, there was the train. And that, I think as I was walking back down the road, that was me leaving the house and moving out. So I think that part is the future. So I think the past was moving, the past was when we were the um, in the blimp, and then also when we were walking home, and then the snowstorm, and then the present was the community, and then the future was the train. So here's why I think the future was the train. So the train, I think, is when my future, I know I've already prepared myself. I'm moving out as soon as I can. I'm turning 18 in July, so as soon as I turn 18, I'm out of here. I want to be independent and be myself and just start my life finally, because I've been wanting to move out since I was 16. So for like 2 years now, I've just wanted to get out of here. I've waited long enough. So, but I know that there's going to be struggles. I know that there's going to be barriers. I know that the train is going to be in my way again, and it's going to be hard for me to just move on. I'm going to be grouchy. I'm going to be just frustrated that this stupid train is in my way. But here's where I think it gets good. Here's where my brain was saying, wait a minute, don't be negative, because these people, these like hobos, were on this train, and even though it was stopped, they were enjoying the ride, and they were just going along and having a good time. And I can, instead of trying to push my struggles, because I know there's going to be a lot of stress. I know with a lot of stress comes a lot of anxiety for me, comes a lot of depression, comes a lot of my self-hatred and all this stuff, like, oh, I can't do this, I won't be able to do this on my own, I'm not, this is gonna suck, whatever. I know maybe if I stop trying to like push that away and just accept it, then I can just climb aboard and enjoy the ride and just like experience the life of this train. And I kind of, I kind of, um, for some reason, when I was like thinking about all this, the train really like came, like really like stuck in my head. I was like, okay, this open train car is like an opportunity. It's like a barrier, but when the doors are open, you can get through the barrier. It's not that hard. Just do it, Or just do it. What's that guy? I don't even remember. Anyway, I'm exhausted, but the train. open doors, get on through. So I think that's my future. I think that's what the dream was telling me, or at least that's how I interpreted it. And yeah, I actually also, um, I know if any of you have watched the video of my friend getting her tattoo, I scheduled my tattoo appointment for after I turn 18, which I'm really excited about. Another thing, oh, okay, because I've talked about a lot how I want to like travel the world and stuff. So I'm gonna get like a world tattoo, like a map of the world on my back, when I turn 18. And then like every time I go to like a different place of the world that I really want to go to, I'll get it like marked out with like covered on my back. Um, but basically, I also kind of think that had to do with the train because these hobos or whatever were all like traveling and like just going, and like even though it was difficult, they were enjoying the ride kind of thing. So I really like that symbol of the open train car. So I think I'm gonna get I have another idea for a tattoo that I think maybe like right here or like on my hip or something. Yeah, I think like right here. I don't know. Of like a train car with like open doors, and I think that'd be really cool because it'd be like a struggle that I can get through, and I'm able to do it. And I think I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I think I'm excited for my future, and I'm happy, and I'm positive, and I'm not scared. I know I should be, and I know that. Or I don't even think I should be. I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. I'm happy. I'm able to be positive, and I will be positive. And you guys can too. That was the point of me telling this story. Is you guys can too. Be positive. There's no need to be negative. If you have positive thinking, your life is gonna seem less shitty because each shitty experience is gonna you're gonna be like, well, how can this go right? And then you'll find ways for it to go right. I know. Okay, if you're like how I was, this is gonna sound so stupid and it's not gonna make any sense because people would tell me this all the time and just be like, well, whatever, it's not, my life just sucks and I can't do anything about it. Your life does suck. Yes, that is true. My life did suck and it still pretty much does. Not a lot has changed. I mean, some has changed, but whatever. If you are able to just get in your head that you can make it better for yourself and you can make your own positive thinking. Not a lot of people believe it, but your positive thinking really affects how good your life is because you're thinking positive, so positive things happen. Good things happen and good outcomes happen because it's almost like karma. It's almost like if you're if you're in a good mood, then good things are going to seem better. If you're in a bad mood, then bad things are going to seem worse. It's just logic. And I mean, I've been thinking positive. I've been realizing things can be okay. And even though um, I'm like even though I'm on suicide watch, so I can't like go out and see my friends or pretty much like do anything. It's just I'm all right. And who cares? I can do stuff. I've been working out a lot more. I've been exercising. I actually lost like 6 pounds at that place because they have like no nutritional food, which like was really scary for me. I was like around like 125, and then when I got back home, I weighed myself and I was like 119. And I'm not saying all body types are beautiful. Don't get me wrong on that. All body types are amazing, but it just for me it seemed unhealthy, and I didn't really like that. So I've been exercising a lot more, working on building back my muscles. I didn't really have a lot to begin with, but I mean, bringing back the ones that I did have and getting better. But yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been eating a lot healthier, and basically think. Oh, another thing, I got a job at McDonald's, and I know that's weird for me to be excited about, but I'm getting paid like minimum wage in Idaho at this current time is like 7.25, which is ridiculous because no one can live off of 725. I mean, if you can, then congratulations, but I know I sure couldn't, especially with my taste of like expensive things or whatever. But this job at McDonald's gets me $11 an hour, and I'm so happy about that, and I'm so grateful that like I was kind of getting back into my depression phase and kind of feeling, sorry for myself, like, oh, I'm not able to see my friends, whatever. But then this happened. I got a job at McDonald's, and I'm gonna be making a lot of money, and I'll be able to, I mean, not, a lot of money, but like enough to actually move out and get on my feet. I can save up and like do this. I'm not scared, and this made me even more assured. Getting, McDonald's, things are good. I'm really happy, and I'm also really tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep because I have to wake up early tomorrow to start work. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, all right, that's all. Okay, I hope you guys got a message out of this. If you did, if you didn't, that's okay because this is mainly for myself. No offense. I just, kind of wanted to talk about it, and now I have it documented, so in case I forget the dream, I can look back. And yeah, all right. Okay, that's all. All right.